What's up everyone, it's your boy Oosagi here, and this is everything you need to know before watching Daredevil Born Again Season 2. Today, I'm bringing down everything essential you need to know before watching Season 2. No heavy spoilers for the future plot or the comics, but full context on characters, key events, where things stand, and where things left off. And if you're new here, hit the subscribe button, and let's jump into it. First things first, who is Matt Murdock? Matt Murdock is a blind lawyer in New York's Hell Kitchen neighborhood. As a child, he was blinded in a truck accident that involved toxic chemicals. Those same chemicals enhanced every other sense in his body to superhuman levels. After he lost his dad to Hell's Kitchen violence, he was placed in St. Agnes orphanage, where he met an old man named Stick. The old man Stick, who is also blind, taught Matt how to use his heightened senses to his advantage to fight, move around, stealthy, etc. By day, he's a dedicated Catholic attorney fighting for justice through the legal system with his best friends Karen Page and Falky Nelson. But by night, he becomes the vigilante Daredevil who takes down criminals who get away from the law. What exactly are Daredevil's powers? When he lost his vision, every other sense in his body became supernaturally enhanced. This means he could hear someone's heartbeat from blocks away, or he could tell you're lying just by how fast your heartbeat's going. Or he could feel the way that the wind moves and the way it shifts. Using his enhanced senses, Matt created his own form of vision called his radar sense. This isn't just enhanced hearing, it's basically like a 360 extra sixth sense. In the comics and shows, it's often described as an echolocation on steroids. Basically, his brain processes the echoes of every ambient sound around him. Picture this, everything around him appears as a world on fire. It's all just glowing outlines and shapes in his mind. No colors, no faces, just crystal clear silhouettes. And because of this, he could see everywhere at once around him with absolutely zero blind spots for a blind man. The Netflix series, which ran from 2015 to 2018, is a street-level TV series that helped define this character to be one of the best TV adaptations of all time. Season 1 starts off where we meet Matt and Foggy when they're getting ready to start their own law practice, Nelson and Murdock. Their first case, they end up meeting Karen Page, who is currently in jail for murder. Once they clear Karen of her charges, she now starts working for them as their assistant. This season introduces us to the first big bad, Wilson Fisk, aka the Kingpin. Matt and Fisk is the eternal rivalry. That is his big bad, that is his person who wants to do everything in his power to bring Matt Murdock down, to bring down the Daredevil. By the end of the season, when we see Matt defeat Kingpin and he gets put into jail, but Kingpin swears he will get revenge. Now season 2, we got new threats. We get introduced to Jon Bernthal's The Punisher. The Punisher is a killer vigilante who basically clashes with everything Matt believes in, everything that Matt stands for, his whole no-kill rule, his whole Catholicism. Punisher goes against it. We get introduced to Elektra, Matt's deadly ex from college, who is leaning him more towards the dark side and also leaning him towards the deadly ninja clan, the Hand. By the end of the season, Punisher has faked his death and he is believed to be dead by the world, even though he is still out there being the Punisher, killing criminals. This season ends in a lot of tragic loss with the death of Elektra, who dies to the Hand, and then this leads off to the Defenders spin-off. The Defenders is an 8-episode team-up miniseries where Marvel puts their 4 street-level heroes on one team against one goal. This is where Matt Murdock first ever meets Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, Iron Fist, Colleen Wing, and the rest of the Defenders. This season basically just finishes up everything from Daredevil Season 2, it finishes up the plot, and it just leads directly into each other. This is important because Jessica Jones is a character who is actually now reappearing finally in Daredevil Born Again Season 2 to help them take down Fisk in the current season. So you don't really need to watch The Defenders to understand the Born Again Season 2 plot. It's kind of exclusive to if you want to get some more context to how they met, or where their relationship is, or where their chemistry comes from. Or if you just want context to what happens that causes the beginning of Daredevil Season 3. At the end of the Defenders show, Matt Murdock and Elektra sacrifice themselves to die alongside the Hand to completely get rid of it and go along with it. Daredevil Season 3 starts off with everyone believing Matt Murdock has died. Karen's still paying the bills because she's in grief. Foggy's accepted it, he's moved on. And then it turns out Matt isn't dead. It turns out that he was living in St. Agnes orphanage and getting healed by the church and by the nuns. But then Wilson Fisk reappears. He's now out of prison. He made a deal with the FBI. And it turns out he's controlling the FBI from the inside out as he's constantly manipulating and getting more power in the government to get his initial release. By this time, Fisk manipulates an FBI agent by the name of Benjamin Poindexter, aka Bullseye, who then starts killing and pretends to be Daredevil. While wearing the Daredevil suit, he invades the church and kills Father Lansom right in front of Matt while Matt's trying to save him. No! This season, we also find out that Fisk finds out Matt's identity. Fisk finds out that Matt is Daredevil. By the end of the season, everyone is at odds with each other. It's Fisk's wedding day. He's trying to get married to Vanessa, and everybody's out to get each other. It's Fisk versus Bullseye versus Daredevil, all in one room. They all fight, and Fisk breaks Poindexter's back. Then after that, we get the best scene in Daredevil. That
this city rejected you. It beat you. I beat you.
After that I beat you scene, they're arguing, they're yelling at each other, and they make a deal that Matt will never go after Vanessa as long as Fisk never says who Daredevil is. And then Fisk goes back to prison, and that's where we see the show end. Now fast forward about 7 years to Daredevil Born Again Season 1. This is the continuation and revival of the original Netflix show in the official MCU. Instantly starts off a tragedy. We start off with Matt and Foggy and Karen. They're celebrating in a bar at Josie's, and then all hell breaks loose. Bullseye comes. Bullseye shoots and kills Foggy.
My Shayla! My Shayla!
This destroys Matt. Enraged, he throws Bullseye off the building, thinking that he kills Bullseye. Because of this, he swears to stop being Daredevil because he got his best friend killed and he will never do it again. Fast forward about a year, he's now working on new law practice with Kirsten McDuffie. Meanwhile, Wilson Fisk has reappeared and apparently reformed. He is now running for mayor of New York City. He promises that he's going to clean up crime, but Fisk's real plan is to get control of the people. Matt meets up with him, they talk, and Matt says, "I'ma keep my eye on you." Unfortunately, Wilson Fisk ends up becoming the mayor of New York City. He instantly puts out a ban for vigilantes. He mentions Punisher, Spider-Man, Daredevil, and says no more. To help out with this, he creates an anti-vigilante task force meant to just take down vigilantes. This season, we also meet a man by the name of Hector Ayala. Hector Ayala was walking through the subway when he saw two men fighting one guy by themselves. He tries to intervene, and one guy gets accidentally pushed onto the train tracks and dies. Apparently, the guy that Hector killed ended up being a cop, and he goes to jail for it. Matt starts representing him, and that's when Matt realizes that he is actually the masked vigilante White Tiger. Matt uses this to his advantage and reveals his identity publicly in court. Hector Ayala wins and is told he can never vigilante again. But he still goes out that night, and while he's out as the White Tiger, he gets killed. This season, we also meet a character by the name of Bibi Urich. She runs a social media platform for news called the BB Report. It turns out she ends up being the niece of Ben Urich. Ben Urich was a reporter in season 1 who was very close to discovering who Fisk was and revealing it, and Fisk killed him. BB's here, she knows Fisk killed him, and she wants to prove it. By the end of Born Again Season 1, Matt has turned back into Daredevil. He's trying to stop Fisk because he realized Fisk is no good. The season ends off with the Punisher getting taken by the anti-vigilante task force. They're imprisoned in Wilson Fisk's vigilante prison alongside Swordsmaster and a bunch of other people. Matt says this has to stop. He says, let's create a team to stop Fisk because Fisk's power is becoming overwhelming, is becoming too much control, and it has to end. That's where the season ends off. It's brutal and it's emotional, and it sets off a full-out war between the vigilantes of New York and Wilson Fisk. Quick rundown on who Jessica Jones is. Jessica Jones is another street-level hero who has her own TV show. She has 3 seasons that ran from 2015 to 2019. Jessica Jones is basically a superpowered private investigator. When she was younger, she tried being a superhero and things just didn't work out. Now she uses her superpowered strength and her detective skills to be a private investigator in Manhattan. In the Defender show, Matt ended up being her lawyer when she needed help, and that's how the two of them met. They started off rocky, but they both have a snarky attitude and a funny, goofy attitude when it comes to each other, and their chemistry has been great, and we're going to see a lot more of that with this season. Hopefully the other Defenders. Now, how does this all tie in? What does this mean for Daredevil Born Again Season 2? As we see in the trailers, Matt is on the run, Karen's on the run, Punisher's on the run, everybody's on the run. Fisk is still mayor, he has gotten more power than ever, and his anti-vigilante task force is basically terrorizing the city. We also see that Jessica Jones has reappeared, she shows up in the trailer, and now she wants to team up with Matt to stop him. Obviously, Jessica Jones also has to deal with the effects of Wilson Fisk, even though she's not a full vigilante and she doesn't wear a mask. We also see a few shots in the trailer of Swordsmaster, who was a character that was introduced a few years ago back in 2021 in the Hawkeye TV series. Quick rundown on who he was. He was the stepdad for Kate Bishop. They thought he was a criminal. It turned out he wasn't. He was actually a vigilante who uses swords. At the end of Daredevil Born Again Season 1, he does not agree with Kingpin, and because of that, Fisk puts him in his underground vigilante prison. The shots that we see in this trailer, it seems like he is teaming up with Matt, and he is going to be joining Matt on his team as well. We see multiple shots throughout the trailer of Daredevil's new team with Daredevil and Karen and Jessica and BB, even Hector Ayala's niece, who is now becoming the White Tiger. And what does this all mean? I have no idea. The show comes out in a few hours, so we're about to find out. But that's it. That is everything you need to know before watching Daredevil Born Again Season 2. If you got any questions, feel free to ask me in the comments. But for now, I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!